Happy belated birthday to Let It Be, the Beatles' final studio album that hit its 50th anniversary in 2020. A celebration was originally expected last fall in the form of a super deluxe release, but as with so many other pandemic delays, plans got pushed back an extra year. Now, the official release date has finally been announced as October 15th, 2021. Will it be everything fans expected? The answer? It depends. The Super Deluxe set packs tons of unreleased material, that's for sure, but there's some crucial material missing as well. I'll get into the omissions in a few minutes, as well as why I'm not surprised and why I think that more is on the way. But first, I'll break down the 5 upcoming editions of Let It Be that we know are on the way. In this buyer's guide video, we'll look closely at each option, explain what's included, and make recommendations based on both content and budget. Once you decide which one is right for you, be sure to look for ordering links in the description below. Let's start with the most basic versions of the album, which as usual are the album-only editions. On CD, that means you'll get the new Giles Martin mix of the original album. Unlike the 2003 Let It Be Naked mix that stripped away much of Phil Spector's production, this new mix preserves the album's original classic sound, for better or worse. You'll get the original 12 tracks, and that's it. For CD fans, it's hard to recommend this edition when there's a better option available for not much more money. More on that in a second. For vinyl fans, it's no surprise there's a single LP edition available as well, featuring the exact same mix as the single CD. And while I may not recommend the single CD version, I think there's a lot of reasons to recommend the single LP edition. Obviously, Let It Be is an essential album for any vinyl collection, so you sort of have to have it. And based on the options available, this is the edition I'm recommending for most vinyl buyers. That may surprise you, but consider this. There's only 2 vinyl editions available, and the other one costs 8 times more. So from a budget perspective, this may be many fans' only choice. Meanwhile, CD fans have another affordable option with the 2-disc special edition. Here you get the album on disc 1 and a collection of 14 outtakes on disc 2. There's no question this is the edition I'm recommending for most CD buyers, as well as many vinyl fans. Priced only a little higher than the single CD edition, the 2 CD edition is clearly worth the upgrade purchase. But for vinyl fans on a budget, you may want to consider a combo purchase of the single LP and this 2 CD edition. The reason is because, surprisingly, there is no 2 LP vinyl equivalent available. The only way to get the outtakes from the 2 CD edition on vinyl is to spring for the budget-breaking Super Deluxe edition. For a more affordable option, consider getting the single album release for your vinyl collection and also the 2 CD release for the outtakes. For US buyers, this will only set you back about $50, which is what the missing 2 LP version should have cost in the first place. All right, let's jump into the Super Deluxe editions now. For CD buyers, there's a 6-disc edition available, featuring the album on disc 1, 2 discs of outtakes, the 1969 Glenn Johns mix of the proposed Get Back album, the 4-track Let It Be EP, and a Blu-ray disc with the HD and surround sound versions of the album. There's also a 100-page hardcover book and slipcase packaging. This edition is clearly the most comprehensive in terms of the music options included, but the full value may still be limited slightly if you don't have a Blu-ray surround sound system. Still, this is the best option for CD fans that can afford it. Meanwhile, vinyl fans can get essentially the same version as a 5 LP set, featuring all the same music as the Super Deluxe CD set, as well as the hardcover book and slipcase. The Blu-ray audio disc is not included, though, which is not surprising, but still stings when you consider the premium price tag. Vinyl diehards will likely gravitate toward this edition, and I can't fault them for that if they can afford it. But again, it may be worth considering a combo purchase of the single LP edition and the CD Super Deluxe edition. Going that route would fill the Let It Be void in your vinyl collection, get you all the outtakes and alternate mixes on CD, plus the surround sound mixes on Blu-ray, and of course the book and slipcase, all for about 20% less than the cost of the 5 LP edition. Now, there's one more release coming out alongside the various Let It Be editions that's worth mentioning here, and that's the Get Back Coffee Table book. This companion to the upcoming Get Back documentary film is 240 pages of rare and unreleased photos from that era, along with commentary by the band themselves. It's hard to believe there won't be overlap in the material from both the Get Back book and the 100-page book included with the Let It Be Super Deluxe editions, but it's too soon to tell. Just something to keep in mind if you're considering that book as an add-on purchase. All right, speaking of Get Back, that ties into my earlier comments about what's missing from the various Let It Be editions. One of the highlights of the Get Back documentary will undoubtedly be the inclusion of the complete 1969 rooftop concert. That legendary performance is a central part of the history of the Let It Be sessions. 3 of those performances were actually used on the original Let It Be album, yet only one additional song from that set list is included in the new special editions. It's hard to believe that's an oversight, which is why I believe there's more to come. Get Back premieres on Disney Plus in late November and will likely be exclusive to that streaming service for at least a month or two. But there's no doubt a DVD and Blu-ray release of Get Back is also planned for early 2022. At that time, I have no doubt a CD and vinyl release of the complete rooftop concert will also be made available, perhaps as a sort of soundtrack release for the film. When more info on additional Get Back releases is available, you'll hear about it here on Track by Track. So there you go, 5 different versions of the 50th anniversary edition of Let It Be by the Beatles. If you're thinking about adding one of these sets to your collection, be sure to look for ordering links in the description below. And by the way, be sure to leave a comment to let me know what you think about the different versions being offered and which one you're choosing. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.